AirPods Pro have been out for a little bit now, and finally, this is the full but honest review about what the AirPods Pro are like to use. I've been a huge fan of AirPods, even from the originals, and I've used them every single day over the past couple of years. And I never really had any complaints at all about the original AirPods until the AirPods Pro came out. This review isn't going to be about reading a load of specs, it's going to be about what they're like to actually use. I'm not someone who's that bothered about having the best sounding audio in a pair of headphones. I'd rather have convenience when it comes to headphones like this, and that's why I'm such a massive fan of AirPods. But using AirPods Pro made me realise that actually the OG AirPods sounded awful. But they fixed this slightly with AirPods Pros, and they do sound better, only if you're using the active noise cancellation though. Without that, AirPods Pro and original AirPods, or AirPods 2 or whatever, they sound almost identical. They do have more bass, and overall music quality does sound a little bit better if you're using that noise cancellation. But where I've noticed it the most is when listening to podcasts. So I listen to loads of podcasts, and usually with the older AirPods, if I'm just in the street or whatever, I struggle to hear what people are actually saying on podcasts because just the background street noise would cancel that all out even at full volume. But now with the noise cancellation that we've got, I can hear every single word perfectly in my ear. While we're actually talking about the sound quality, let's talk about the call quality, because I don't actually think they've ever been that good on AirPods. I've heard loads of people saying that they are really good, and they are if you're inside and there's no other background noise around you. And actually, let's compare.
So this is what the AirPod Pros sound like. I don't think the call quality has improved that much over the original AirPods, because this is what they sound like. And we're in somewhere that's pretty quiet, there's not much going on here. But the sound quality sounds pretty much the same on both of them. So what do you think sounds better, the sound quality on these, the AirPod Pros, or the sound quality on these, the original old AirPods?
The fit in the ear is way better this time round on the AirPod Pros. I never had a problem with the original AirPods at all falling out my ear or anything like that, but what I did have a problem with though was that they would hurt after wearing them for a couple of hours. I never thought I'd be sat here on YouTube saying, whoa, look at the silicone tips on some Apple product, but actually they're really good because they fit right inside your ear rather than like sitting on the outside of it. And the old AirPods, if you had them in for a couple of hours, they would hurt. They would hurt me anyway. But with the AirPod Pros, I can have them in for ages and there's no pain there at all, which is good, isn't it? The big thing obviously on these was that active noise cancellation, and this is the best example I can give of what it sounds like. So when it's turned on, you can't really hear anything, and there's only a little bit that comes through, but for in-ear headphones, this works really well. I know transparency mode is meant to be a big thing on this, but I'll be honest, I've barely used it, and it's just because it takes longer to use it to be able to hear announcements or people speaking to you than it does to take an AirPod out your ear. So you have to go into the control center or use your watch or hold onto it, and if you're going to hold onto it, just pull it out. Then you can hear what people are saying. And also, it's just a bit rude, isn't it? If you've got headphones in and someone's talking to you, just take them out for a minute. With design on the AirPod Pros, I actually prefer what they look like now than they did a couple of weeks ago on the older AirPods. The stem is a bit shorter when it's in your ear, but I kind of like it. The case is a bit fatter and smaller, but I like that more as well. Going back to using the old case, it seems really small, and I want something actually which is a little bit chunkier. And the new AirPods Pros case does it. The only problem with the newer design is that now you have to squeeze the side of the AirPod to try and skip tracks or anything like that. And because the stem is shorter, it feels a bit weird. Like I might get used to it, and I probably will get used to it, but I preferred the tapping on the ear rather than the squeezing and the holding and all of that stuff, because if the stem was longer, it would work better. So I feel like these should still have that tappy thing instead. That's better. The battery on these is perfect as well. They're just as good as the original AirPods. They don't last as long with noise cancellation on, but pop them back into the case for a couple of minutes and that gives you an hour or so of charging. So battery life so far is pretty good. Do I recommend buying AirPods Pro? No, not really. If you've got AirPods already, I don't think there's a reason to upgrade unless you're mad about noise cancellation, because besides from that, they're pretty much the same. If you don't have AirPods, then absolutely go with AirPods Pro if you're thinking of getting them, because wireless charging AirPods are £199, where the AirPods Pro are 250 quid. So for that £50 extra, it'd be weird to not go with the AirPods Pro. Having said that though, AirPods Pro are now not an impulse buy. They were when they were a little bit cheaper, but for 250 quid, it's more of a planned purchase, if that makes sense. Let me know on Twitter what you think about these, at OnePaulJ. If you like this video, then subscribe to the channel, thanks, and drop a like on it as well. That really helps. And until next time, see you later.